Jai Jinendra.
Jinendra, sir.
I made you a host.
Yes, sir. Just 2 seconds.
No
I
problem.
don't have the computer today. Just 2 seconds.
No problem. अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है धन्य धन्य तुमसे काज सब आज भयो कर चोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है ओ मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है तीन भुवन में सार वीतराग विज्ञान था शिव स्वरूप शिवकार नमो त्रियोग समारिके पंडित दौलत राम जी has written this Chaidala Granth and we were on to the second chapter, fourth stanza. We have completed up to fourth stanza. So the misconceptions or the errors regarding 7 fundamentals was being discussed and we just did the first one. Now from 5th stanza onwards, there will be other elements. So there are 7 elements like soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage, dissociation, and liberation. So out of this, we have discussed just about the soul. Now we will discuss about the non-soul elements and influx elements in the 5th stanza. तन उपजत अपनी उपज जान तन न सत आप को नासमान रागादि प्रगट ये दुख देन तिन ही कुसेवत गिनत चैन. So here misconception regarding the non-living or the non-soul element and the inflow elements is discussed here. What is the misconception regarding the non-living element, Ajiv Tattva? The wrong believer thinks that with the birth of the body, he is born, and with the body's demise, he will die. Okay. He believes to have favorable or unfavorable modification occurring within himself when actually the changes occur in the body. This is his misconception regarding the non-living element. So the main misconception is that body and soul are two different elements and he considers them to be one. So whatever is the body's activities and modification, he believes that he is the doer of those things. He himself identifies with that. So all the 4 pillars of delusion like oneness, mindness, doership, and enjoyership, all 4 are associated with this body, you know. So he becomes a doer of body. He does oneness with body. Who does that? Soul. Okay. And this is the misconception. Now, misconception regarding the inflow element. The ignorant soul believes that alien substances. So we can correct here. Substances would not be there. A better word would be disposition. That alien dispositions like attachments, etc. Next page, yeah.
Sir, where are you reading? Actually, on the screen, it's just moving.
Yeah, it's just being stabilized. Next page, Himali. Next page.
Stanza 4 or 5?
5. I am into explanation now.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes. So now we are doing misconception regarding the inflow elements. The ignorant soul. You have the book with you, right, Arun?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have the book.
Okay. The ignorant soul believes that alien substances, so substances in place of substances, disposition would be a good word. And you can also add like dispositions like attachments, etc. Okay. Produce happiness to him and as a result embraces them. Okay. Who believes such? The ignorant soul, that alien dispositions like attachments, aversions, etc., all kinds of passions produce happiness to him and a result embraces them, gets attracted to them, indulges in them. He believes the alien substance, again, substance would be disposition, are the reason for his likes, dislikes. So either he is liking it, then he develops a feeling of attachment, or he is disliking it, then he manifests the feeling of aversion. And deluded state. Deluded state means the wrong belief. He does not accept, he does not accept the fact that any alien dispositions, again you have to change here, can never give happiness or unhappiness to him. So this is the misconception. Okay. He does not accept the fact that any alien disposition can never give, right? In fact, the belief that one can do the activity of alien, again, substances, alien disposition, kartutva, okay, or to keep the ownership in alien substances, that is mamatva. So we discussed all oneness, mindness, doership, and enjoyership. Both goes together. It may not happen that you don't have oneness with something and you have a doership of that thing. No. If you have oneness, the mindness would also be there, the doership would also be there, and enjoyership would also be there. So wherever it is mentioned only one name, you should consider all the four are there. Or to keep the ownership in alien mamatva is a wrong belief. Okay. This produces unhappiness and is the reason for bondage of karma. This is the misconception regarding the inflow element. Okay. Now the next stanza, sixth one. Arun, you read.
Yes, sir. Misconception regarding the bondage element, bandh tat, and stoppage element, samar tat. शुभ अशुभ बंध के फल मझार रति अरति करे निजपद विसार आत्म हित हेतु विराग ज्ञान ते लखे आपको कष्टदान शुभ अशुभ auspicious and inauspicious बंध के फल manjar in fruition of bonded karmas rati arati kare does likes and dislikes nijpad identity of self nature of soul visar forgetting atam hit hetu for welfare of the self virag gyan renunciation and right knowledge te those lakhe appear apcon to the soul shatdan source of suffering.
Kashtadan.
Misconception regarding the bondage element. Bandh Tattva. The soul obtains the association or separation of circumstances according to the fruition of non-destructive karma. The wrong believer becomes perplexed, akulta, by his likes and dislikes and believes them to be favorable or unfavorable to him. As a result, he imagines being happy or unhappy. He becomes happy with acquiring wealth, spouse, and family. He becomes unhappy with disease, poverty, and loss of family. Auspicious as well as inauspicious activities are the cause of bondage of karma. Instead, he believes auspicious activities to be beneficial. In reality, the auspicious as well as inauspicious acts are both detrimental to the soul. But the wrong believer does not understand this fact. This is the misconception regarding the bondage element. Misconception regarding the stoppage element. Samvar Tattva. Right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct from the absolute point of view. Nishchay Samyak Darshan are beneficial to the soul. As one gets stabilized within himself, there is a proportionate diminishing state of delusion. The wrong believer perceives them to be the source of suffering to him. This is the misconception regarding the stoppage element.
Hmm. So you see, the wrong believer becomes perplexed, perturbed, restless by his likes and dislikes and believes them to be favorable or unfavorable to them. But actually, the external substances are not favorable nor unfavorable. External substances are external substance. Okay. But because of delusion, because of wrong belief, he believes something to be favorable and something to be unfavorable. And that's how he binds the karmas. Okay. And the other thing important in this paragraph is that he believes auspicious activities to be beneficial. Okay. As far as the bondage element is concerned, both auspicious and inauspicious activities binds karma. And the one that binds karma, how can it be beneficial to us? So this is the misconception regarding bondage element. Now, somewhere stoppage element. Right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct from the absolute point of view means real point of view. You can write real point of view. We will be using everywhere for nischay, it will always be real point of view. And for vyavhar, it will be conventional point of view. These are the standard words that we are going to use everywhere. So just align with those words only so that you get the right meaning. Points of view, Nischay Samyak Darshan are beneficial to the soul. As one gets stabilized within himself, there is a proportionate diminishing state of delusion. So delusion is not the correct word, attachment. Delusion goes in one moment. It does not diminish. Okay. Here they want to emphasize on attachment. So the purity that you develop by taking shelter in your soul is the stoppage element. That purity is the stoppage element. And when that purity keeps on increasing, it becomes dissociation element. And when that purity becomes complete, it is liberation. Okay. So the stoppage element begins with by taking the shelter of the soul and manifesting that internal purity. Okay. So the level to which the purity is manifested, to the same proportion level that attachments gets reduced. Okay. And there comes a time when complete purity is manifested and complete attachment is destroyed, and that is called passionlessness, complete passionlessness. The wrong believer perceives them to be the source of suffering to him. So the one which was a source of happiness, he believes to be a source of suffering to him. That is the misconception regarding stoppage element. Okay. So you can you can do the correction. There is a proportionate diminishing state of attachment. Okay. So that attachment word should be there, and that is what passionless is all about. Okay. Passionlessness means devoid of attachment. Okay. If there is an attachment, there is a passion. So when we are diminishing the attachment, when we are uh, destroying the attachment, that is the time we manifest passionlessness. Now stanza number 7. Gia, you read.
So can you repeat this? There is a proportionate.
So the internal purity that gets manifested in the same proportion, the impure, the purity by taking, see, what is stoppage element? 1 minute. So The stoppage, what is the stoppage element? Stoppage element is manifested when you take shelter in your soul and you manifest the internal purity. The extent to which you develop this internal purity, to the same extent, the attachments is proportionately reduced. Okay. So the attachment keeps on diminishing and the purity keeps on increasing. This is called stoppage element. Stoppage element is the beginning of the internal purity. Dissociation element is increase in that purity, and liberation is complete purity. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I read stanza 7.
Yeah.
Stanza 7, misconception regarding the shedding element, Nirjara Tattva, and liberation element, Moksha Tattva, nature of inborn wrong knowledge, agrahit mithya gyan. Should I just read the red part?
Hmm.
The bottom. Roki na cha.
Now that you need not read, you go directly to the stanza explanation in the next page.
Okay. Misconception regarding the shedding element, Nirjara Tattva. When there is partial increase of purity, then there is proportionate shedding of the impurity in the soul. This is known as the shedding associated with the stoppage of karma. This occurs only with the right faith from absolute point of view. When one is engrossed within oneself, then there is dissociation of auspicious and inauspicious desires. This is known as shedding element or austerity. Austerity is classified in two ways. One, austerity associated with the wrong faith, and two, austerity associated with the right faith. Austerity performed in the wrong faith cannot give any true or meaningful shedding of karma. Austerity performed with the right faith, when there is an absence of auspicious and inauspicious desires, is a real reason for shedding of karma. The wrong believer does not understand this fact. He forgets his infinite strength from self absorption and instead believes to have happiness derived from alien substances. He is unable to control his auspicious and inauspicious desires and the liking of the objects of five senses. This is the misconception regarding the shedding element. Should I read ahead?
Yeah, both the paragraphs.
Misconception regarding liberation element, Moksha Tattva. Pure and perfect tranquility with the bliss from within is the nature of the liberation element. In this state, there is complete purity of the soul. This is the real nature of true happiness. However, the ignorant soul does not accept this fact. He thinks happiness comes with the help of body, five senses, and objects of five senses. This is the misconception regarding liberation element. Inborn wrong knowledge, agrahit mithya gyan. The presence of knowledge along with the inborn wrong faith is known as inborn wrong knowledge, anati mithya gyan, and can produce intense misery. This knowledge is not acquired by listening to the sermons, but is present with the soul since time infinite.
So misconception regarding the shedding element. Shedding element means dissociation of bondage. Dissociation, you can write down. We will be using the word dissociation everywhere. Dissociation of bondage. Short, we call it as dissociation. Dissociation element. So when there is a partial increase of purity, just now we discussed this. The beginning of the purity is stoppage. Increase of purity is dissociation of bondage. So where there is an increase of purity, then there is a proportionate shedding of the impurity in the soul. This is known as the shedding associated with the stoppage of karma. This occurs only with the right faith from absolute point of view, that is real point of view. When one is engrossed within oneself, then there is dissociation of auspicious, inauspicious desires also and sentiments also. There is a dissociation, means that sentiments does not arise only, and that is called dissociation. Okay. So when you are engrossed within yourself, then there is no as auspicious or inauspicious sentiments manifesting. Okay. Because you are engrossed within yourself. You are enjoying absolute tranquility and bliss. Okay. You are in that state of deep introspective meditation. This is known as shedding element or austerity. So the karmas get shedded by this dissociation of bondage element, and when one is engrossed within oneself, there the dissociation happens in an exponential growth manner. So the first moment it is say suppose 2, the next moment 4 particles of karma will shed, then 16 will shed, then 256 will shed, then 5012 will shed, like this go on, it will go on. Okay. So that is the power of meditation, power of deep introspective meditation. And that is generally associated with a monk, because monk, they are doing meditation most of the time, and that is their prime function, meditating, always meditating. So Nirjara, they are the real, we can say, they have the real hold on this dissociation of bondage element. At the lower level, maybe in the 4th stage and 5th stage, there is also a dissociation of bondage, but the quantity is very less compared to the monk. So for dissociation of bondage, they practice austerity, tap. So austerity is again of 2 ways. One is austerity associated with the wrong faith, that is of no use, because unless and until the faith changes, the knowledge also does not change and the conduct also does not change. Okay. So that is of no use. And the austerity associated with the right faith. These are the true austerities. Okay. Austerity performed in the wrong faith cannot give any true or meaningful shedding of karma. Austerity performed with the right faith, when there is an absence of auspicious, inauspicious desires, is the real reason for shedding of karma. The wrong believer does not understand this fact. He forgets his infinite strength from self-absorption. Okay. Roke na chaha. In the word it is written as roke na cha. Okay. That is they want to explain here, that he forgets his infinite strength from self-absorption and instead believes to have happiness derived from alien substances. He is unable to control his auspicious and inauspicious desires and the liking of the objects of 5 senses. This is the misconception regarding the shedding of element. So, by taking shelter in the soul, by manifesting purity, a soul is able to dissociate from bondage. Okay. But the wrong believer does not believe so. He is believing that by fulfilling my desires, I can dissociate the bondages. That is his misconception. Okay. He is unable to control his auspicious and inauspicious desires. So why these auspicious and inauspicious desires rise in the first place? Because if you are not engrossed in yourself, then these auspicious and inauspicious desires would always rise. But if you are absorbed in yourself, okay, so this fellow forgets his infinite strength from self-absorption and instead believes to have happiness derived from alien substances. So he goes on fulfilling all his desires, but he never gets happiness because there is no happiness in those external substances. Okay. So even the desire has been fulfilled. So there is a little bit of relief, but again a new desire crops up and again he is unhappy. So the best remedy would be to take shelter in our soul, engrossed in ourself, immersed in ourself, and the manifest the internal purity, which is passionlessness. And with that internal purity, the shedding of karma, dissociation of karma happens automatically. And this is the misconception regarding the shedding element. Now, misconception regarding, yeah. Do you have any questions on this?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
So when Nirjara takes place,
Hmm.
so it only takes place when we are meditating, is it?
Yeah, most of the time it is like that only. Because
Correct.
when you are meditating, you are manifesting the passionlessness state. And
Right.
that is the cause of nirjara. So long you are having vikalp only, thoughts coming in and out, it is not nirjara. It is
Correct.
just an auspicious sentiment. That's all, nothing more. Okay.
Right.
So the true nirjara only happens, the true shedding of bondage only happens when you are engrossed in yourself. And that's why I said it is more prominent in among the monks. Because at the fourth stage and fifth stage, the frequency of this passionlessness state is very less. So nirjara is also less. Okay. So the monks are doing at a wholesale rate. The fourth and fifth stage are doing at a retail stage, once in a while. In fact, in the fourth stage, it is being said that the maximum frequency should be once in a 6 months, maximum. Okay. If it is in a fifth stage, the maximum frequency is 15 days. You have to have one time self-realization. Otherwise, your spiritual stage will fall. You will fall back to fourth. Because fourth, the limit is 6 months. And in the fifth stage, it is 15 days. And among the monks, it is 48 minutes. So every 48 minutes, monk has to come in the state of pure introspective meditation. And that is the time the dissociation takes place at a very faster rate. Okay. Although the monks have already conquered the 3 levels of passion, Ananta Anubandhi, Apratyakhan, and Pratyakhan. To that extent, the shedding is happening all the time. But when they get into deep introspective meditation, there is an exponential reduction of the bondages. I said the first moment it is 2 particles. So next it will be 4. The next it will be 16. So it goes on like that. So that's why we have been binding karms from time immemorial. But when we get into the path of liberation, when we become a monk, the shedding happens so fast that we can shed all the karmas of past, all maybe say for 10,000 years, you may be binding new karmas due to ignorance. And now you are enlightened and you are practicing this austerities. And with that austerities, becoming a monk, you are into most of the time self introspective meditation. So you dissociate all those bondages in one birth only and get liberated. That fast could be done. It is not that we have been wandering from time immemorial, so we will take another many years to shed those karmas. No. Because of that exponential growth in dissociation, it happens very fast. In fact, Bharat Chakravarti was a Chakravarti. He was a householder. He had 96,000 wives, 99,000 children, and all the pomp and grandeur of a kingdom. Okay. But the moment he renounced all this and become a ordinary monk, okay, within 48 minutes, he shed all the karmas and attained omniscient knowledge. So before omniscient, at the 12th stage, it is complete passionlessness state, complete detachment, right? 12th stage. And then at the 13th stage, he manifested omniscience. All these within 48 minutes. Just imagine how fast it could be done. That means while he was at a householder level, the preparations were going on internally, you know. So very little was left. So with this deep introspective meditation, he could shed all the bondages immediately.
So I have one more question, if I may.
Yeah.
So when Nirjara happens, do we
Hmm.
get to know, like, does something happen to us? Or
No, you don't get to know because you are meditating in yourself. You are engrossed in yourself. You are enjoying that happiness. You are extracting happiness from your soul. Now, the strength of extraction develops over a period of time by practicing discriminative knowledge. Okay. The more you practice, the more your strength of extracting happiness from within. So your primary job is to extract happiness from within. And on the outer, this sheddings happens automatically, and we are not aware how much is left, how much has gone, what speed it is going, nothing. We are engrossed in ourselves, because for a non-omniscient, the active consciousness gets involved in one substance at a time. So if it is engrossed in ourselves, it is not engrossed anywhere else. So that things doesn't come to his knowledge, you know. So it's very difficult. Even a monk, while meditating, he may rise up to 11th stage, and then he falls back to the first stage, and then again he comes back to the fourth stage, and then he takes that ladder of destruction and moves to 12th stage and 13th stage all within 48 minutes. And he even doesn't know that he has gone back to the first stage, because he's into meditative state, you know. So at that time, you are not doing anything. You are only experiencing yourself. You are so busy in yourself. You are so busy in extracting that happiness, in enjoying that happiness, right? So that time, we don't realize that we have fallen from the spiritual stages. We have come back to the first stage, and again, we have taken a rebound and we have reached the 12th stage. All this happens very naturally.
So one
Sir, what does
absolutely last question. Sorry.
sorry, go
Arun,
ahead.
Arun,
Go
you
ahead.
first take up.
Sir, what does austerity mean in this context? Because I was just checking on Google. I mean, the actual meaning of austerity is like, something less, right?
This is tap. Austerity means tap. Tap means
Okay.
engrossing in yourself. Engrossed in self is tap. So there are 12 kinds of austerities. 6 are internal and six external. And out of this, 10th, in the 10th position is Swadhyay. Swadhyay is Param Tap. It has been considered the most supreme tap, can say. Because through Swadhyay only you know everything about the whole process of liberation. Okay. So it is considered to be the best austerity, and it is at the 10th place. Then at the 12th place is meditation, which is the last one. And through meditation, you can achieve liberation. Yes. Anything else? Yeah, Madhuji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Madhuji, go ahead.
Okay, sir, the falling from 11th stage, the
Hmm.
lower stage,
Hmm.
is it distraction, ध्यान हट जाना या गलत थॉट्स आना दोनों
Now,
होता है या
matlab, like you can call it from, you can explain it from two angles. From Karnan Yoga, it is like that there is a rise of karmas. Okay, from Karnan Yoga. From Charnan Yoga, you have lost the concentration on the self. Okay, so both causes are there. One is from Charnan Yoga, one is from Karnan Yoga.
yes, okay.
Okay. Yeah, Himali, your last question.
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask you, when someone is in deep meditation,
Hmm.
let's assume I'm sitting next to that person.
Hmm.
So do I see any physical changes? Like, do their eyes like become?
No,
I've
no, no.
seen some. Nothing
No,
happens.
nothing else. In fact, there is no activity of mind, speech, and body at the time of meditation. True meditation is such, even the thoughts also does not arise. In the higher stages, like 8th stage, 9th stage, they are so engrossed in themselves, that there is no other option available at that point of time. They are so deeply engrossed in themselves. So the activity of mind, speech, and body stops completely. And that is called Gupti. This is Gupti. And these are basically at the monk stage. As a householder, we cannot have such level of meditation, right? Because we have different kinds of attachment. You have to take care of your children, you have to take care of livelihood, you have to take care of your cooking, you have so many responsibilities. So how can you sit like a monk, you know? So that's why they renounce the house. They don't want any kind of distractions, and they go deep into the forest where no one is coming around you, and that is the time they concentrate on their self. And they are so engrossed that even if someone inflicts pain on them, they are engrossed in themselves. We have seen that 700 monks, they were meditating, and from
Right.
outside they were being burnt, but they were engrossed in themselves. This is the state of meditation. Actually, you know, if you connected this with happiness, then you will be able to understand. They are extracting something from inside. They are busy in that. So the impact from outside does not happen. Like bodily pain, inflictions, you know, they are not taking notice of that. They are so much busy in enjoying that thing. Even in our day-to-day life, you must have seen that if you are interested in some serial or something like that, and you are so engrossed in looking at that serial that even if you are hungry, you will leave the food beside. Your kids go to play in the ground, and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and there is a lunch time, supposing, right? And you call them that come and have lunch, and he's coming, and they don't come only. Why? Because they are so engrossed in that game, you know, in playing that game. So similarly in meditation, it happens the same way. It's all depends on our intensity of interest. The more we are interested in ourselves, the less is the impact of outside noise, world, whatever you say. Yes.
So, I have one more question.
Yes.
जब महावीर स्वामी के कान में they were piercing this nail, that nail sort of thing, not nail actually, it was something very big. So he was not perturbed at all. Could it be that he was in meditative state, or he put himself in meditative state? That is why he did not feel the pain.
I didn't get your first part. What you were saying?
अच्छा, महावीर
She's
स्वामी
talking
ना,
about that Mavi Swami Bhagwan when he was उनके ears को ऐसे
हाँ,
nails
हाँ,
में
right.
yeah, हाँ,
So he was into deep
he
meditative state, so he didn't have this effect, you know,
failed.
on him.
Oh,
Just like the
that's
700 monks who were meditating, so they
right.
were being burned. Just as
हाँ,
Pandava and all the 5 monks, they were also engrossed in themselves, and
yes.
somebody put hot ornaments in their head, and they were undisturbed, and they manifested omniscient knowledge at that point of time. And the 2 younger brothers who thought what would have happened to the elder brothers, with that small rise of Vikalp, they bound a life in heaven being of 33 Sagaropam, very long life. And they are there now in the heaven only. And those
Yeah,
three got those 3 got liberated, the same state.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now misconception regarding liberation element. Okay. Pure and perfect tranquility with the bliss from within is the nature of the liberation element. Perfect, complete tranquility, complete happiness. In this state, there is complete purity of the soul. This is the real nature of true happiness. However, the ignorant soul does not accept this fact. He thinks happiness comes with the help of body, 5 senses, and objects of 5 senses. This is the misconception regarding liberation element. So what is the misconception? He believes the quality of the sensual pleasure and the quality of the uh, extra sensual pleasure as the same. Okay. So here is the misconception. The 5 senses, the pleasures are with perturbedness, and the pleasure that comes from the soul directly is without perturbedness. Okay. So this is the main misconception regarding the liberation element. So the ignorant being believes that in the state of liberation, the sensual pleasures will be of greater magnitude, but the quality itself is different. Okay. So this is a sensual pleasure and that is extra sensual pleasure. Now we are starting a new topic, inborn wrong knowledge. Okay. So we have studied this chapter in Vitrag Vigyan 3, Grahit and Agrahit Mithyatva, right? Inborn and acquired delusion. This is the same thing we are going to discuss here. So first, regarding inborn wrong faith, this 7 misconception regarding the fundamental elements was discussed. Now the next in the line is inborn wrong knowledge. Inborn wrong knowledge. The presence of knowledge along with the inborn wrong faith. Okay. So inborn wrong faith is there since time immemorial. It's coming every birth, you are continuing with that delusion. Okay. Inborn delusion. So along with that inborn delusion, whatever knowledge you have is all inborn wrong knowledge and can produce intense misery. This knowledge is not acquired by listening to the sermons, but is present with the soul since time infinite. So the one that is coming from our past birth is all inborn. Okay. So this is inborn knowledge. Now the 8th stanza, inborn wrong conduct. So knowledge has been described. Now it is inborn wrong conduct. Malteji, you read.
Yes, sir. The characteristics of the inborn wrong conduct, that is the agrahit mithya charitya. इंद्रित विषयन की जो प्रवृत्ति ताको जानो मिथ्याचरित यो मिथ्यात्वादी निसर गए अब जे गृहित सुनिए झूठे. With inborn wrong faith and knowledge, the soul conducts its activities with indulgence in sensual pleasures. This is known as the inborn wrong conduct, that is the agrahit mithyachara. All these three things are the reasons for unhappiness. One has to remove them with the help of understanding the knowledge of truth, that is the Tattva Gyan. Without this understanding, one is unable to get rid of desires of objects of the senses. Even if these are gracious attachments, that is Shubhrag, or auspicious objects, they are still the objects of the senses and need to be dismissed. The soul who is engrossed in them ends up forgetting his true nature of super sensuous bliss, Atindriya Anand.
So with inborn wrong faith and knowledge, the soul conducts his activities with indulgence in sensual pleasures. And this is called inborn wrong conduct. Because the faith is not right, belief is not right, so he does not know that the pleasure is in my soul only. The true pleasure is in my soul only. He considers the pleasure from external objects and that's why he is indulging in that. And this is called the wrong conduct. So all these three, which three? Inborn wrong belief, inborn wrong knowledge, and inborn wrong conduct. All these three are the reason for unhappiness. Okay. One has to remove them with the help of understanding the knowledge of truth, Tattva Gyan, 7 fundamentals. By knowing that, your faith will turn into right faith. And with right faith, the right knowledge will come and the right conduct will follow. Okay. So this is the only solution, that you have to work on understanding the 7 fundamentals as they are and not as you pursue it. Okay. You perceive it. Okay. So this is the inborn wrong conduct. Even if these are gracious attachments, means auspicious attachments, okay, they are still the object of the senses and need to be dismissed. The soul who is engrossed in them ends up forgetting his true nature of super sensuous bliss, Atindriya Anand. Now the stanza number 9 and
Sir,
10 together. Yeah.
so what is considered as Grish Shubhrag?
Is an auspicious sentiment. It's a cause of bondage.
I was thinking of attachments,
Uh-huh.
the good attachments. There'd
Good
be nothing
attachments,
like
right?
n-
Going to the
what.
temple, studying, are all these
Uh-huh.
attachments only auspicious attachments. All kinds of auspicious.
Okay, got.
Now, acquired. So we were discussing now inborn. Now acquired wrong faith, acquired wrong knowledge, and acquired wrong conduct. The discussion will follow. So 9 and 10 both are together. We will read it together. Rekha. Are you there, Rekha? Unmute yourself.
Rekha ji, you're on mute.
Okay. Soumya.
Yes, sir.
9 and
Sir,
10.
yes, sir. जे को गुरु को देव को धर्म सेव पोषे चिर दर्शन मोह एव अंतर रागादिक धरे जेह बाहर धन अंबर तै स्नेह धारे को लिंग लह महत भाव ते को गुरु जन्म जल उपल नाव जे राग द्वेष करिमलीन वनिता गदादि जुत चेन चीन. Meaning, one who worships the false preachers, false lords, and false religion, Kudharma, is always feeding the right belief, deluding karma, that is darshan mohini karma. This is known as the acquired wrong faith. The false preacher has delusion from within and indulges in external wealth and clothes. He poses as an ascetic with the mark of clothing, that is Dravya Lingi Muni. He has no attributes of a real ascetic as described in the scriptures. They are like a stone boat sinking in the ocean of transmigration. The false gods are inherent with the filth of attachment and aversion and are identified with the signs of women and club, etc. By worshipping false preachers and false gods, one increases his acquired wrong faith and as a result continues to wander in the transmigratory cycle.
So what is the mistake in the first 3 lines of explanation? One who worships the false preachers. Soumya, you only point out.
So what is the mistake, sir? In English translation of
Yeah. English translation of the first 3 lines. One who worships the false preachers, false lords, and false religion is always feeding the right belief, deluding karma.
It's not darshan, I think. It's not darshan moni.
No, it is darshan monia. Only thing is that
All scriptures.
no, it is right word.
right is yes, sir. Right should
So
not be there.
that should not be there. Only
Belief deluding karma.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
yes,
is
yes, sir.
darshan monia karma.
Yes, sir.
So these are some of the mistakes that we have to correct, and these are gross mistakes. You cannot put it that way. So
And sir, in the second para also, it's written Dravya Lingi Muni. So, sir, it does not. Yeah. So that is also wrong, sir.
no, so he poses an ascetic with the mark of clothing. Mark of clothing means in Hindi it is written bhesh.
Yeah,
So
bhesh,
he's
sir.
into some attire,
Yes,
So,
sir.
so that he is not even a Dravyalingi Muni, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
He is
why
a
Dravya Lingi Muni is not the correct Hindi translation for bhesh.
So again, so he considers himself to be like that, to be a true monk, but he is not. Okay. So Hindi to English, again, there are some minor mistakes will always be there. We can cut that bracket of Dravyalingi Muni. He possesses an ascetic, there is no problem with the mark of clothing. So we can cut that and write word. And again, it's a written that he is always feeding the belief deluding karma, darshan mohniya karma, for a long period of time. Dirgha kal, it's written dirgha kal. So that also they have not written, but it hardly matters. Okay, the false preacher. So this was all about the false preacher, false lords, and false religion. So this is called the acquired wrong faith. So acquired wrong faith is indulging in false preachers, false lords, and false religion. Okay. The false preacher has delusion from within and indulges in external wealth and clothes. Okay. So he is a false preacher. So he has got delusion. Okay. And externally, he is indulging in clothes, wealth, etc. So a preacher or a monk should not have any external possession with them. And these people are having. So they are not the true monk in the first place. He has no attributes of real ascetic as he possesses an ascetic with the mark of clothing. Again, this is again a false. He has no attribute of a real ascetic as described in the scriptures. They are like a stone boat. Okay, upal now. In Hindi word is upal now. So when you sail in a boat made of stone, you are going to sink. Okay. So these gurus or these preceptors are considered like that. They themselves sink and the followers also sink. Okay. So Asharam had lakhs of followers. And the moment he was exposed of his misdeeds, all the people who were involved in that ashrams and all, they felt very bad, because they have spent their whole lifetime after serving that institute. And suddenly they find that our preceptor or our leader is not doing the right kind of things. So you just can imagine this is the most painful thing that one can have, like going into a wrong faith, going into a wrong direction. And most of your time, this life is being lost. You are not going to regain your time. Okay. So it is very imperative for us to check before having faith in anything. Somebody would say, and you believe, no, you have to examine everything and then only believe. Okay. So this makes the difference. So they are like a stone boat sinking in the ocean of transmigration. So they themselves also sink and their followers also sink along with him. The false gods are inherent with the filth of attachment and aversion and are identified with the signs of woman and club, etc. What is this club? Club is Hanumanji's Gada. Okay. So these false gods, okay, like Saraswati, Durga Mata will have tiger and Trishul, and then Hanumanji will have that club. The club mentioned here is Gada. Then some other gods have women uh, as their servants or something like that. So all these are false gods. True gods are Vitragi, just like our God. They don't have anything in their possession. And their face is of such nature that by looking at the face only, you manifest right belief in yourself. That much purity they carry with them. By worshipping false preacher, okay, and false god, one increase is acquired wrong faith and as a result continues to wander in the transmigratory cycle. So this is something like there are, say, in India now 140 crore people, right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So out of that, 99.999% have this wrong, false preachers and false wrong faith. So how many are Jains? So recent figures mentions 0.40%. 0.40% of 140 crores means how much? Approximate 7 lakhs? No, 4.40, no?
At least 60 lakh Jains.
60 lakhs, right?
Sir, 0.4% of the total population.
So 60, it would be around 60 lakhs. And out of that, how many are Digambar Jains? And even if you are Digambar Jains, how much you study and how much you understand. So all these are very rare. Okay. So you will come across these false preachers, false gods, everything that, because we are in the fifth era. And there were dreams coming to, I think, Chandragupta Maurya. And in those dreams, there was one dream where it was showing that monkey sitting on the top of an elephant. And that indicates that in the fifth era, these kind of false preachers and false god would be worshipped. Okay. So it was predicted at that point of time, thousands of years ago. Now, the nature of false religion, Ku-dharma. So, Kudev, Ku-shastra, no, Kudev and Ku-guru has been discussed. Now, this Ku-dharma, false religion, and the short descriptions of acquired wrong faith. Okay. So, this was, we are discussing nature of false religion. Okay. Stanza number 11 and 12. And Payal, you read.
Yes, sir. Nature of false religion, Dharma, and the short description of acquired wrong faith, Gruhit Mithya Darshan. Te kudev, wait, te kudev tina ke ju se saath karat. I forgot the rhythm.
No problem. Carry on.
ना तीन भव भ्रमण छे रागादि भाव हिंसा समेत दारावित त्रास थवार मारा न खेत जे क्रिया दीना ही चानु कुधर्म तीन सरदे जीव लहे आश्रम या कुगृहित मिथ्यात जान अब सुन गृहित जो है अज्ञान.
The foolish person.
Scroll up a little bit. The foolish person worships false gods as a result.
You have got a
And as a
physical book
result,
with you, right?
sorry?
You have a physical book with you, right?
Yeah, I do.
So you have to take out before the class every day and you have to mark here. I am just doing the corrections. So you have to also do the correction in your textbook, right?
Okay, sir.
So you always keep that in front of you. Don't depend on the screen.
Okay, sir.
Carry on.
The foolish person worships false gods and as a result keeps on wandering in the transmigratory cycle of life and death. There is violence in his thought activity, bhavhinsa, in the deluded state. There is material violence, dravyahinsa, in the killing of immobile and mobile lives. The religion which propagates these two types of violence is known as false religion. Therefore, to have faith in false preachers, false gods, and false religions is known as the acquired wrong faith. In the next stanza, the author describes the nature of the acquired wrong knowledge.
So you see in the picture also, like, Bali. This is called Bali, by offering the life of a goat, and they believe that they are doing religion. Similarly, by doing this Havan, okay, here also the one sensed being Agni Kai Jeev, fire body. There is a violence of fire body here. and they are considering as religion. So all these are kudharma, false religion. So the foolish person, ignorant person, worships false god and as a result keeps on wandering in the transmigrative cycle of life and death. There is violence in his thought activity, that is bhavinsa, in the deluded state. There is material violence, dravya hinsa, in the killing of immobile, like fire body is immobile. Okay. And the first picture is showing a mobile body of a goat, mobile lives. The religion which propagates these two types of violence is known as false religion. So there will always be involvement of violence in this kind of religion. Okay. Therefore, to have faith in false preacher, false god, false religion, all these three together is known as acquired wrong faith, because this you have acquired in this birth. Okay. This is not something that you are carrying from your previous birth. The something that you are carrying from your previous birth is inborn wrong faith, inborn wrong knowledge, informed wrong conduct. Now this is about acquired. Okay. Acquired wrong faith. Now we will discuss acquired wrong knowledge and then acquired wrong conduct, 13 and 14. And then we will conclude this chapter. Okay, so 13 and 14, small, 15, all three together. Rekha, you will try? You were earlier not on the...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Jia, you had a question. I sorry, forgot. I saw your... Jia, you can take up your question first.
Yeah, you're on mute.
Okay, you continue, Rekha.
Yes, sir. The nature of the acquired wrong knowledge, grihit mithya gyan, एकांतवाद दूषित समस्त विषयादिक पोषक अप्रशस्त रागी कुमतिन कृति कृषि श्रुति अभ्यास सो है कुबोध बहु देन त्रास. The reality comprises of multiple components. The false preceptor proposes only one such component and makes one believe it to be the whole reality. He also creates the scriptures, which feeds the passion and the sensual pleasures. To believe, teach, and to learn these types of messages is known as acquired wrong knowledge. Grihit Mithya Gyan. This type of knowledge brings intense misery.
Next.
Okay. Characteristics, stanza 14, characteristics of acquired wrong conduct. Grihit Mithya Charitra. जो ख्याति लाभ पूजादि चाह धरि करत विविधि विधि देह दाह आत्म अनात्म के ज्ञानहीन जे जे करनी तन करण क्षीण. So there's no explanation, sir.
Oh, it's not there. I think in the soft copy it is there. You just check it out from here.
Yeah, it's there on the screen.
Okay, okay, sir.
On the screen.
The person does not have proper knowledge of the realities. Therefore, he does not understand the true nature of the discriminative science, Bhed Vigyan, between the soul and the matter. As a result, he adores the wealth body, the senses, self-fame, respect, pride, etc. He performs the activities of mortification, mortification of body without the understanding, the discriminative knowledge of soul and alien substances. He does all these activities to fulfill his desires. This is known as acquired wrong conduct, Mithya Charitra. Shall I read the 15th one also, sir?
Yes.
advice of discarding the wrong conduct and to get absorbed in the pure self. ते सब मिथ्या चारित्र त्यागी, अब आत्म के हित पंथ लागी, जगजाल भ्रमण को देह त्यागी, अब दौलत निज आत्म सुपागी. The living being, for the benefit of the self, should discard the notion of inborn as well as acquired wrong faith, knowledge, and conduct. He must practice the nature of the absolute right faith, knowledge, and conduct. Pandit Dolat Ramji addresses his own soul and says that, "O my soul, the transmigratory cycle of life and death occurs due to the wrong dependency towards alien substances. So, as soon as possible, please give up the notion of auspicious and inauspicious activities and get engrossed in the nature of one's own pure soul."
So, first of all, acquired wrong knowledge. So, reading those scriptures which are not propagating the message of passionlessness are all wrong scriptures. Okay. It is always a one-sided. So in Jaina scriptures, it is always a balance between, say, real point of view and conventional point of view, a balance among the four expositions. Then only you are able to interpret the right message. So these scriptures only depict one-sided belief, and that is very dangerous. You are not able to manifest passionlessness if you read this kind of scriptures. Okay. So the false preceptor proposes only one such component and makes one believe it to be the whole reality. Okay. He also creates the scripture which feeds the passions and sensual pleasures. Okay. So the real scriptures would always feed the or foster the passionlessness. But here it is feeding the passions and sensual pleasures. To believe such scriptures to be right scripture is the acquired wrong knowledge. Okay. This type of knowledge brings intense misery. Now, the next one. Characteristics of acquiring wrong conduct. So, with the intention of getting fame, name, and power or money, okay, with that intention, if you are doing any conduct, then it is all acquired wrong conduct. Because in the first place, you don't know what is soul and what is non-soul. Okay. You are not able to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay. So whatever you do with this kind of belief, with kind of knowledge, it is all called wrong conduct. Okay. So that is what was explained in the this 14th verse. He does all these activities to fulfill his desire. This is known as acquired wrong conduct. Okay. Now the last one. Advice of discarding the wrong conduct and to get absorbed in the pure self. So for the benefit of the self, the soul should discard the notion of inborn as well as acquired wrong faith. Okay. So this inborn and acquired are the difference from the perspective of the sentiments. Okay. As far as the karmas are concerned, there is no division of acquired and inborn delusion. It is all one kind of delusion only, because karma does not have this distinction of acquired and inborn. Only from the level of sentiments, we can say that this belief, this is wrong from the inborn side and from the acquired side. Okay. So this, those who want to make their spiritual progress, they should discard these notions of inborn as well as acquired wrong faith, knowledge, and conduct. He must practice the nature of the absolute right faith, knowledge, and conduct. Pandit Daulat Ramji addresses his own soul and says that, "O my soul, the transmigratory cycle of life and death occurs due to the wrong dependency towards alien substances." te
This
sab
is also
mithya.
again disposition.
Pardon?
So this will also be disposition, no?
Disposition. Because substance is dravya, and here we are talking about elements, particularly the sentiments of the soul. Okay, so it will be disposition would be a good word here. So as soon as possible, please give up the notion of auspicious and inauspicious activities and get engrossed in the natures of one's own pure soul, because that is going to manifest the true religion, the passionless state, the detached state, and that is the real happiness. Okay. So discarding of, so in the first chapter, we discussed about the sufferings of the four state of existence. And in the second chapter, we discussed the causes of these sufferings. And in terms of causes, there were two types of causes. One was inborn wrong belief, inborn wrong knowledge, and inborn wrong conduct. And the other was acquired wrong belief, acquired wrong knowledge, and acquired conduct. So when you understand the problem, you are able to find the right solution. But if you don't consider problem as problem, then there is a no scope of getting any improvement. Okay. So this must be known first. Now, in the third dhal, the third chapter, we will learn about the solution. Okay, what would be the solution to this wrong beliefs? Okay, so that will be explained in the third dhal. The whole chapter is about the path to liberation from absolute will be real point of view and conventional point of view. The nature of right faith. Initially, they will discuss the nature of right faith, then right knowledge and right conduct. Okay. So in this particular dhal, the faith is has been explained. In the fourth dhal, right knowledge would be explained. And in the fourth dhal only, the right conduct will start with the householders' right conduct. And then we will in the fifth chapter, the right conduct from the perspective of a monk would be discussed. And then, of course, the sixth dhal also, it is about the monk only, how they get into deep introspective meditation. Very nice explanation given in the sixth dhal. So now in the third dhal, so one day I said that there are many similarities between Moksha Marg Prakashak ji and this Chha Dhala. And the first, in the first dhal, the first three chapters of Moksha Marg Prakashak are covered. Okay. And in the second dhal, from 4th to 8th, 5 chapters of Moksha Marg Prakashak are covered in the second dhal. And the third dhal is equivalent to the 9th chapter, but it was incompleted. So anybody who wants to complete that scripture can do that based on this Chha Dhala. And this was explained in the preface of the Hindi Chha Dhala by Pandit Annaji from Jaipur, very renowned scholar. And I had the privilege of understanding the Gunasthan from him. He was here in Mumbai, Borivali for 1 month in our Mandirji, and he conducted classes every day, twice a day. And then he took an exam also. And in that exam, I stood first here. So I remember very vividly. And this was, I'm talking about 2003. Yeah, 2002, 2002 and 2003, somewhere around that. So almost 22 years ago. So this third dhal, the path to liberation.
Sir,
Yeah.
I have a question. So ये जो गुलिस्तान है उसमें the whole of Jainism will come off
Yeah.
mostly. I think. Yes.
So these are the Gunasthan according to Jainism only.
Yes.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Give.
Okay, so stanza 1, Amitaji, you can read. I will read the first one so you can have an idea how it would go. आत्म को हित है सुख, सो सुख आकुलता बिन कहिए।
आकुलता शिव माहिनता ते शिव मगला गो चाहिए सम्यक दर्शन ज्ञान चरण शिव मग सो दुविध विचारो जो सत्यारथ रूप सुनिश्चय कारण सो व्यवहारो। Absolute right conduct is associated with absolute right faith and right knowledge. And knowledge. The soul with absolute right faith has subjective articulate knowledge, bhav, shrut, jnana. The absolute and conventional points of views form part of this subjective articulate knowledge. Therefore, the person with wrong faith cannot have any of the partial point of view. Nay, 1. The partial point of view, nay, is always dependent, sapeksh, if the conventional point of view is believed to be present before the absolute point of view, then it becomes one without any dependence, nirpeksh. This is not possible. The conventional point of view must be associated with the absolute point of view. As mentioned above, these partial points of view, absolute and conventional points of view, occur in the right faith stage onward. In the ignorant stage, therefore, there is no partial point of views, and it can only be a fallacy of absolute and conventional point of views, Nishchayabhas and Vyavharabhas. 2. Initially, the soul has thoughts about the nature of the nine reals, as mentioned by the omniscient God, Lord, has full faith in the omniscient Lord, the scriptures, and the enlightened teachers, and also has milder forms of passions in the form of auspicious activities. With this background and with his own personal efforts, now he obtains right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. At this time of obtaining absolute form of triple gems, the previous activities are known as conventional form of reasons, Vyavhar Karan, Vyavhar Karan, Paramatma Prakash commentary on chapter 2, stanza number 14. Also, when the soul is in the stage of absolute right faith, then there are associated auspicious activities and other instrumental causes present, and they are known as the conventional path to liberation. It is important to know that only the absolute path is the real reason for liberation and not the conventional path. 3. The pure soul is full of happiness, and that is why the real happiness derives from taking support of his pure soul. The happiness does not occur with the support of any instrumental causes or any conventional forms. 4. The path to liberation is unity of the absolute right faith, knowledge, and conduct. Pravachansar, stanza 82, 199, Mokshmarg Prakasha. 5. The path to liberation is only one, and that is in the form of absolute way. There is only one path to liberation. This is in its absolute form. The scriptures describe both the absolute form and the conventional form. The latter, which is used as a formality, upchar, and although it is always associated with the absolute form, it is not the true path. The true path to liberation is one and only the absolute form of liberation.
So, Atam ko hit hai. What is the welfare of the soul? So, Atam ko hit hai sukh. Sukh means happiness. Okay. So, spiritual well being of the soul is his happiness. And that happiness is without any perturbedness, anxiety, restlessness. Sukh akulta bin kaye. Akulta is also called perplexity. Here it is mentioned as perplexity, but a good word would be perturbedness or restlessness. These are used many a times in different scriptures. Okay. So the problem that we are facing now is that because this English is not popular. Okay. So earlier it was all in Sanskrit, then before that it was in Prakrit, then Sanskrit, then Old Hindi. So this Chedala has been written in Old Hindi. The Moksha Marg Prakashak was written in Old Hindi. And now we have modern Hindi. So this translation is of Old Hindi only, right? So we don't have anything in English in terms of poems now, okay? But maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, we have more exposure to English and we will have scriptures coming in English exclusively also, okay? But now we have to wait for that for some time. It's not that popular now, but it's getting popular day by day. There are all the like youngsters, the kids, they all want to learn now everything in English because this is uh, the practice in their life that they adapt to English everywhere in schools, in tuitions, while talking at home also. Now most of these people are talking in English, then they understand better in English. So that is their thought process is also in English. So it is very natural for them to study in English as you are all studying now. So this will get popular. So till that time we have a bit struggle. So the explanations given here and there, the mistakes happening here and there, all these we have to bear. But I am explaining you from the Hindi version only. So there is little chance of doing any mistakes. Atam ko hit hai sukh, so sukh akulta bin kaye. So the spiritual well-being of the soul is his happiness, and that happiness is without perturbedness. Akulta shivmai nate shivmag lago chahiye. Okay. So there is no anxiety or perplexity or perturbedness or restlessness in liberation. Absolute no perturbedness in liberation. Liberation is complete spiritual bliss. Okay. So in liberation, there is no perturbedness. So you should get into the path of liberation. Shiv Mag. Shiv Mag means path of liberation. So you should get into the path of liberation. And what is this path of liberation? That has been explained in two types of interpretation. One is from the real point of view and the other is from the conventional point of view. And that is going to be explained in the coming stanzas. So what is the path of liberation? Samyak darshan gyan charan. Right belief, right knowledge and right conduct. Shiv mag. So duvid vicharo. So this is the unity of right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct is the path of liberation. Shivmag is path of liberation. And it is of two types. Do with two types. Okay. The first type, जो सत्यार्थ रूप सो निश्चय. Okay. Actual or internal path. Okay. The true path is the real point of view, nischay. Jo satyarth roop so nischay. The absolute truth part is the real point of view. And its cause to attain that real path is called the conventional point of view. Karan so vyavharo. Okay. So absolute right conduct is associated with absolute right faith and right knowledge. All these you can study in as a homework and you can see from the picture that unity of three, right faith and right knowledge and right conduct, all three mixes and then it is the path of liberation. Okay. So this is the path of liberation that is being discussed. These are of two kinds from the point of view of depiction. One is the real point of view, nischay nahi, And this nischayane is always sapeksh. Sapeksh means it is in relation to something. Okay, is always dependent. So not dependent would be not be a good word, but sapeksh means it is from certain perspective. Okay, so it is always with perspective. The real point of view is always with some perspective. Sorry, not real point of view, the point of view itself. The partial point of view nay is always sapeksh from certain point of view. If the conventional point of view is believed to be present before the absolute point of view or the real point of view, then it becomes one without any dependence. Then it becomes nirpeksh, one without any dependence. Just a minute, I have to go. Sorry. So we were discussing the path of liberation from 2 points of view. Okay. So this point of view is always relative, or it is always what you call sapeks with some perspective. Okay. So point of view means perspective. So it is always with perspective, and conventional point of view takes you up to the absolute point of view, and the function of the absolute point of view is to discard the conventional point of view. You will understand with an example that if you want to cross the river, you have to get into a boat. And when you reach the other side of the river, then you have to get down. Okay. So if you don't board the boat, you will not be able to reach the other side. And after reaching the other side, if you don't discard the boat or come out of the boat, you will not reach your destination. So similarly, conventional point of view takes us up to the real point of view. And when you get into the real point of view, you have to discard the conventional point of view. So such are the viewpoints. They complement each other. One says things from the real perspective and the others from the conventional perspective.
So
Okay.
can you repeat this, sir? What you said, real and conventional?
The example of the boat or the
Yes. Yes.
so when you want to cross a river, you take a boat, right? And after reaching the other side, your destination, you leave the boat. Similarly, conventional point of view helps us to go up to the real point of view. And the real point of view's function is to discard the conventional point of view. Okay. So after reaching the other side, you have to leave the boat. So we also have to leave the conventional point of view when we reach at the real point of view. Okay. And when you want to experience yourself, you have to leave all the point of view. So from conventional, we went to real, and after leaving real, we will go into the state of self-realization, self-experience. Okay. So in the initial stage, we need point of views. But while experiencing yourself, we have to discard the all kinds of point of views. Okay. So point of view is a tool which helps us in understanding our true nature. Okay. So that's why the points of view are very important, And it is only in Jainism that we have this point of view. Nay. Other religion doesn't have this point of view of new. And because of that, they are not able to prove the reality, the nature of the soul as it is. Because the same soul is having two contradictory qualities in itself. Now, both are contradictory. So you cannot explain this with one perspective. So you have to use two perspectives. So one is the conventional perspective. Like I'll give you an example. Consider the example of a soul. Soul is real from some point of view. Soul is eternal or nitya, permanence. Okay. Soul is permanence from some point of view and impermanence from some point of view. Okay. Now, soul is permanence from which point of view? From real point of view. Soul is permanent. And it is impermanent from the modification point of view. So permanence and impermanence are both attributes of the soul simultaneously existing. But to explain that, we need to have 2 points of views, 2 opposite points of view. And that is, one is real point of view and the other is conventional point of view. And that's why we are able to understand the true nature of the soul, and that's why we are able to experience the soul. The other faiths don't have this perspective, and because of that, they are not able to prove the true nature of the soul and experience it. Okay. So when you go very deep into Jainism compared to other religion, you will find this one difference, and that is Nai, the point of view that Jainism offers. And because of that, we are able to realize ourselves. So for realizing ourselves, for getting into the path of liberation, the tools that we apply is, one is point of view, Nai, and the other is Praman, the comprehensive knowledge. So point of view is a part of the comprehensive knowledge. Comprehensive knowledge means you are highlighting the substance, the attributes, and the modification of a substance. Okay. Point of view is either you are highlighting the substance point of view or you are highlighting the modification point of view. You are highlighting the modification part of the substance. So when you want to know a particular part of the substance, you have to apply perspective, nine. And when you want to know the overall substance, then you apply comprehensive knowledge. Okay. So this is something that we will study in the coming semesters about this point of view in detail. Already we have taken one session on this in Vitrag Vigyan 3, Nischay Nay and Vyavhar Nay. And we also explained you through that chart. You know, do you remember that chart, Emali? Where we discussed 4 conventional point of view and 4
Yes, sir.
real point of view. I'm going to conduct one class again on this for the benefit of 2 students who joined in late, Payal and Rekha. That chapter is pending with us. So I would like all of you join on that day so that you have a revision of that thing. And that is very important when you practice discriminative knowledge. Okay. So maybe in next week, have you completed both of you the CC1, Payal and Rekha?
No, sir,
11th
yet
is
to.
the last date. So once you finish that, we will have this class of
Okay,
point
sir.
of view. So I don't want to
Okay,
bore.
sir. I'll finish quickly.
Yeah. You finish the day you both of you finish, we will have this extra class on this. There will be no recording on that, but we will have this class. And we will club it that with Sureshji also. So Sureshji will also understand. So that our Sunday timings would be, I think, ideal. Sunday 3 to 4 p.m. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So it will be in fast track or
I will inform in the group itself, this main
okay.
group itself.
Okay.
Okay. So the path to liberation is the unity of the right faith, right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. Okay. And this is being expressed in 2 ways, one from the real point of view and one from the conventional point of view. Now the stanza 2. What is the nature of right faith, right knowledge and conduct from the real point of view? Nischay Samyak Darshan. Very important. And then in the next stanza, we will see the conventional point of view also. Okay. Stanza number 2. I think everyone is done once. Or Himali, you are left.
Yes, I'm left.
And who is also? Jia is also left, right?
Yes, sir.
No,
Okay.
I've said.
Okay. So first Himali.
Okay. Stanza 2. The nature of right faith, knowledge, and conduct from absolute point of view, which is Nishchay Samyak Darshan. Vardhavyan Tain Bhin आप में रुचि सम्यक्त भाला है आपका रूप को जाना पानोन सो सम्यक ज्ञान कला है.
So you also don't know Hindi at all?
So I know.
So you are reading from the transliteration, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
No,
why
I'll
the
read Hindi, sir.
yeah.
I'll read Hindi. आप रूप में लीन रहे धीर सम्यक चारित्र सोई अब व्यवहार मोख मग सुनियो हेतु नियत को होई. The absolute form of right faith means to have unbroken faith in the true nature of the pure soul, to understand and to know that this pure soul is forever separate from all alien substances of the universe is known as the right knowledge in the absolute form. When one gives up the interest in all alien substances of the universe and becomes engrossed in the true nature of this pure soul, then it is known as the right conduct in the absolute way. The description of the conventional form of liberation will be given from stanzas 3 to 10. When the person is on the right path of liberation from absolute form, then it is essential to know about the nature of the conventional path to liberation.
So Pardravyante bin aap mein. Okay. So Pardravyate bin aap mein ruchi. So exactly the ruchi, the word ruchi implies your interest. Okay. Your interest. Ruchi, your interest, your passion, your obsession, all these words indicate ruchi. So Pardravyante bin aap mein. So in the first half line, there is this discriminative knowledge. Okay. Discriminative knowledge is practiced between two substances. So here one is yourself, aap mein. So myself, and the other is non-self. Okay. Soul and non-soul. Self, non-self. Aap mein is self and Pardravyan is non-self. So apart from me, everything else is non-self for me. Pardravyante bin aap mein. So ruchi, samyaktva bhalaya. Bhalaya means from the real point of view. Ruchi here is written as to have a belief. So it is used in the sense of belief only. That is true. But the more deep meaning would be the deep interest or deep inclination. That is what it means here. Samyaktva bhalaya is the right faith. Okay, is the right faith. Okay. So the absolute form of right faith means to have unbroken faith in the true nature of the pure soul. That is what Pardravyante bin आप में रुचि सम्यक्त्व भला है. आप रूप को जान पनो. To understand and to know that this is pure soul is forever separate from all alien substances or all alien elements of the universe is known as the right knowledge in the absolute form. Okay. Right knowledge, real right knowledge. निश्चय है ना. So real, everywhere it would be real, real right knowledge. So you don't have to write that absolute form. Okay. Absolute means real. When gives up the interest in all alien substances, आप रूप में लीन रहे थिर. थिर means engrossed in self. Okay. आप रूप में लीन रहे थिर सम्यक चारित्र सोई. When gives up interest in all the in when one gives up the interest in all alien substances of the universe and becomes engrossed in the true nature of this pure soul, then it is known as the right conduct in the absolute way, or it is also known as real right conduct. That also you can write. The description of the conventional form of liberation will be given from stanza 3 to 10. Okay. When the person is on the path of liberation from absolute form, then it is essential to know about the nature of the conventional path to liberation. So the conventional path and the real path, they both arise together, because unless and until you don't have the real point of view, you cannot have a conventional point of view in the correct sense. Okay. So a real point of view and or conventional point of view only arises when you realize yourself. When you realize yourself for the first time, that is the time you manifest real point of view and conventional point of view. Before that, it is all misconception. Okay, you don't have clarity. Although you can say conventionally that I'm talking from this point of view and this point of view, but real point of view comes only when you realize yourself. Okay. So this is the thing. Now we will discuss the conventional point of view. Stanza 3, nature of right faith from the conventional point of view. So 3, 4. So this chapter already we have done Atma and Paramatma. Okay. Soul and Supreme Soul. We did this in Vitrag Vigyan 1, chapter 3, and I also gave you homework on this. So you must be remembering. But let's discuss it once again. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So we will have time to complete this 3, 4, and 5. So I am completing myself only. So it will take less time. I will directly explain you from the Hindi text itself. So the heading is nature of right faith from the conventional point of view. So we are discussing only Vyavhar Samyak Darshan, right belief. Okay. जीव अजीव तत्व अरु आश्रव बंध रू संवर जानो निर्जर मोख कहे जिन तिनको जो को सो सरधानो. So 7 elements, the names of the 7 elements are being said here. Soul, non-soul, influx, bondage, stoppage, nirjar is nirjara, so dissociation of bondage, mokh is moksh, liberation. कहे जिन तिनको जो को सो सरदानो. To keep faith in all these as are preached by omniscient Lord. Jin is omniscient Lord. Okay. So whatever the omniscient Lord has said in his sermon regarding the 7 fundamentals, you believe in them. You believe in them as it is. Because Lord omniscient never says anything wrong, because he is having complete knowledge and he has destroyed all attachments. So there is no chance of him saying anything false. Whatever he says is all absolutely correct. Okay. To have faith in all these is called the knowing the 7 fundamental elements correctly. Vyavhar Samyak Darshan. So Vyavhar Samyak Darshan is always knowing the 7 fundamentals correctly. है सोई समकित व्यवहारी. Okay, so this is right belief from the conventional point of view. अब in रूप बखानो. I am explaining you this in short. तिनको सुनी सामान्य विशेष. Listen to them in general and in particular way. Okay. दृढ़ प्रतीति उर आनो. Have firm faith. Drid means firm. Pratiti means faith, belief. Ur ano. Manifest in your heart or know that. Okay. In this stanza, there is a description of right faith from the conventional point of view, which is associated with the right faith from the absolute point of view. They both have a concomitant relationship, avinabhavi sambandh. So if you have a right belief, then you have a conventional belief. Okay. When there is absolute right faith, then the conventional right faith is present. Conventional right faith is present in the form of associative reflective thoughts, vikalpa gyan. Associative reflective thoughts, vikalp gyan of the 7 real fundamentals. Okay. This faith is associated with mild passions. Why it is being said mild passions? Let me check the Hindi version. Nishchay Shraddha Rahit. This faith is associated with mild passion. It's not translated from Hindi, but this faith is associated with mild passions that I don't make out. Of course, when you have a right faith, the first level of passions, the Anantanubandhi passions always goes off, but it has nothing to do with mild passions. Anyway, okay, mild passions here means auspicious passions, auspicious sentiments. Okay. So this faith is associated with mild passions. Okay. So that's why it is a conventional, that why it is right belief from the conventional point of view, because you are knowing 7 fundamentals from the viewpoint of mild passions. Okay. So it is just because it is the divisions, different divisions. So when you get into divisions, it is always the conventional right belief. Okay. In absolute right belief or real right belief, there is no divisions and subdivisions. It is absolutely indivisible. Okay. When it is indivisible, it is called the real right belief. Okay. So that's why it is written, this faith is associated with mild passions. Okay. So this is all about the third stanza. Now the fourth stanza. Types of living beings, the wrong believer and the best right believer. Okay, so now we will discuss about 3 things. Bahiratma, Antaratma, Paramatma. Bahiratma is a wrong believer. Antaratma is a right believer. And this Antaratma or the right believer is of 3 types. The supreme, the medium, and the lowest form, lowest category. I don't know what words they have used, but we know that the Antaratma is of 3 types: Jaganya, Madhyam, and Uttam. Uttam is the best, Madhyam is medium, and Jaganya is of the lowest form. Okay. So that we discussed in Vitrag Vigyan 1 also, and here also it is the same thing. So living things are described in 3 ways. Okay, let me first read the बहिरातम, अंतरातम, परमात्म, जीव त्रिधा है. बहिरातम अंतर आत्म परमात्म जीव त्रिधा है। देह जीव को एक गिने, बहिरातम तत्व मुदा है। उत्तम मध्य जगन्य त्रिविधि के अंतर आत्म ज्ञानी। दुविध संग बिनु शुद्ध उपयोगी, मुनि उत्तम निज ध्यानी। Okay, so Bahiratma is the one who is a false believer, who believes that the body and the soul are one. Okay, so he is Bahiratam. Who is an Antaratam? The one who understands the true natures of reality and as distinct from the body is a true believer. He is also known as non-discriminative. So this is about Bahiratma. Bahiratma does not understand the true nature of reality. He is also known as non-discriminative wrong believer. Now, who is the Antaratam or the right believer? The one who with his indiscriminative knowledge, believes the soul and the body to be separate is known to be the inner self Antaratma. He is also known as the right believer. The inner self is of three types. Antaratam is of three types: the highest, the medium, and the lower one. The highest kind of inner self is devoid of internal and external possessions and is in the seventh to 12th spiritual stage of development. Okay. So Shuddhopyogi, the word here used is Shuddhopyogi, the one who is into deep introspective meditation. And that stage is from the 7th to the 12th. From 7th to 12th, you are not doing anything, you are only engrossed in yourself. And that is called deep introspective meditation, Shuddhopyogi. The highest kind of inner self is devoid of internal and external position and is in the 7th to 12th. So these are monks. 7th to 12th stage monks are the highest kind of inner self. This type of naked ascetic is with pure consciousness of serenity, Shuddhopyog, and is engrossed in self-meditation. Okay. So deep introspective meditation would be a good word for Shuddhopyogi. Now the stanza 5th. The medium and the lower inner self, souls, and the transcendental self, that is Paramatma. Transcendental self is the Paramatma. Okay. So first the medium and the lower. मध्यम अंतर आत्म है जे, देश व्रति आगारी, जगन्य कहे अविरत सम्यक दृष्टि, तीनों शिव मगचारी, सकल निकल परमात्म, द्वे विधि तीन में घाति निवारी, सो अरहंत सकल परमात्म, लोकालोक निहारी. Okay. The medium inner souls are those who have accepted the partial or complete woes. Okay. Partial or complete woes. Those with partial woes are the householders at 5th spiritual stage of development, and those with acceptance of complete woes, like monk, are the ascetics at the 6th spiritual stage of development. These householders and ascetic both have right faith from the absolute point of view. The householder at this stage has destroyed 2 categories of passions, and the ascetics has destroyed 3 categories of passions. Okay, so the one who is in the 5th stage has conquered the first and the second level, and the monk has destroyed all the first three categories of passions: Anantanubandhi, Apratyakhan, and Pratyakhan. The ascetic is also the practitioner of 28 primary virtues, Mool Gun. Okay, 28 primary virtues called Mool Gun. The lower inner self are those who have obtained the right faith and destroyed infinite bondage producing passions. Fourth stage, okay? So they have destroyed the infinite bondage producing passions. These souls have not yet accepted any vows because they are in the fourth stage, so they have not accepted any vows. But their faith is completely right belief. Okay. So right belief, but no continence in their life. They have not accepted any vows. The best, medium, and lower inner self souls are all on the path to liberation. Now, the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Okay, the transcendental self is of two types: one with the body and one without the body. So Paramatma are of two types: one with the body, that is Aryan, 13th stage, and one without the body, that is the Siddh Paramatma. Okay, the liberated soul. The omniscient Lord are with the corporeal body and have destroyed all four destructive karmas. The liberated souls are without body and have destroyed all 8 karmas. Both these souls have attained the power to know the cosmic and trans-cosmic universe completely from past, present, and future in the one smallest unit of time. So the omniscient Lord and the liberated soul both are having omniscient knowledge, and with this omniscient knowledge, they know everything in this cosmic and transcosmic, lok and alok, loka lok. They all know everything in the lok and the alok, cosmic and transcosmic universe completely from the past, present, and future in the one smallest unit of time, एक समय में. Okay, so omniscient Lord knows everything, and this is about the Antaratma Tatha Paramatma. Okay, so this is with the body. So the soul having conquered all the karmas, all the 4 karmas are the soul in the 13th stage of spiritual development called Sakal Paramatma, Paramatma with a body. And those who have completely destroyed the 8 karmas, they are the liberated soul or the Siddh Parmesthis. Okay, so there are 2 types of Paramatma. Okay, so this is up to the 5th stanza. Now the 6th stanza, nature of the liberated soul, Nikal Paramatma, and the message of meditation for reaching the transcendental self. Okay, so this we will do it next week. Now our time is over, so we will continue from the 6th to the last, that is we'll complete the 3rd dal in the next session. So
Sir,
if you
I have a question.
you tell, ask.
The third point, the omniscient Lord are with corporeal body. ये क्या मतलब just before the Siddh state, right? So,
Yes. Audaric
omniscient
Sharir.
Lord.
Audaric Sharir. In Hindi
हाँ
is
तो
called Audaric Sharir, corporeal body.
हाँ तो ये अरियंत है सर नहीं
Aryant.
अरियंत है yes sir thank you
Because he has destroyed 4 karmas.
all is
4 are still
right sir
left. Agati
yes
karmas
sir
are left. Okay.
yes
Obscuring karma has been destroyed and non-obscuring karmas are still left. Okay.
yes sir
Anyone else? Okay. So we will close.
yes
निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है, उसके लिए जिनवाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है। 9 टाइम्स नमोकार मंत्र।
जय जिनेन्द्र सर, थैंक यू।
बोलो दात सांगी जिनवाणी माता की जय।
जय
जय जिनेन्द्र।
जय
So one more question.